my friends and I almost died on a roller coaster. Before I begin, just in case TikTok does shut down, here are my other socials, and make sure to sub to my YouTube because I'm always posting story times there. So this story happened years ago when all my friends and I were finally old enough to wander amusement parks alone with no parents, nothing, just us. So if you're from New Jersey or even on the East Coast, you know about the amusement park Six Flags Great Adventure. I think this park has like the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world, so if you haven't been there, you gotta go. But that's completely besides the point. So this story happened during the summer, and it was on a weekday, which meant that the park was not crowded at all. There were no lines, and you could ride the rides multiple times. So we were having a time, and once again, if you are from New Jersey, you know about the roller coaster El Toro. So El Toro is this wooden coaster that was built in 2006, and honestly, I don't even know how it's still standing. But you know what? Good for her. And this story revolves around El Toro. Because y'all, that's the coaster that almost killed us. So I remember my friends and I just got done riding hella roller coasters, and at this point, we're hyped. We're like, you know what, let's go on more. Let's have some more fun. That's when we decided to walk all the way down to the other side of the park where this big wooden coaster is standing. El Toro. So we get there and immediately there's no line, which is crazy because there's always a line for El Toro. So we walk onto the line and we head up to where the seats area is, and we get to where we usually sit, which is towards the back. So where I'm sitting, I'm not in the very far back. I'm like 3 seats before the back. And where I'm sitting, there's this mom and her son sitting right in front of us, so keep them in the back of your mind. So we sit down, the workers, they come over, they check our restraints, and boom, we're ready to go. You know, we're sitting up there giggling, cackling, because we're ready to have the best time of our lives on this ride. So we thought. So the ride starts, it leaves the station, and it starts to go up the lift hill. So with El Toro, keep in mind that when it goes on the lift hill, it starts off slow, and then it proceeds to go faster to the top. So we're going up slow, and then it begins to get faster. It's going up, and then we hear a pop, and the ride stops on the hill. So when it suddenly stops, it also like jerks us forward, so our bodies kind of like fly from the seat a little bit. And at this point, we're confused. We're looking around like, what the heck is going on? And yes, I'm aware that stuff like this happens. Trust me, I know. I used to be a big roller coaster lover. Well, I still am, but like in this moment, we knew that something did not seem right. So this whole time, we're wondering, is it because someone had their phone out or something? But it wasn't. So we're all sitting in our seats, you know, we turn, we're waving to the people below us because now there's like a crowd forming to see what's going on. And at this point, we're still stuck. Like, time is moving and we're just still sitting there. So as time goes on, we start to get aggravated because, mind y'all, the sun is literally beaming on us. It's a hot day. There's no cover. But to lighten the mood, we decide to make some jokes. So we start cracking jokes. We start making scenarios. We're like, oh my gosh, this is Final Destination. Which, you know what? We shouldn't have said that because we low-key manifested it. And I felt so bad because the boy in front of us, he started to cry because this was his first ever roller coaster. And right now, he's stuck and he's thinking that he's gonna die. So we stopped making jokes, and I'd say about 5 minutes later, that's when we noticed that a maintenance worker starts to walk up the hill. So the worker walks up to where we are, and he immediately starts apologizing, and he gives us an update. He basically tells us that they are working on the issue, and because it's going to take such a long time, he's actually going to help us get off the roller coaster. So when he says that, everyone is relieved because we're like, okay, at least we're not staying up here till God knows when. So he tells us that he'll be right back, and I guess that was him, you know, going back downstairs to get a partner to help him with getting us out of the seats. And I kid y'all not, as soon as that man walked back into the station, tell me why the roller coaster started up. Mind y'all, we were just told that we are going to get let off the ride, which means that something, you know, bad is happening to the roller coaster where we should not be on it. So we're going up the lift hill, and I've never heard screams of terror this loud in my life. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, our restraints are going to lift up. I'm thinking that as soon as it goes down the first hill, it's going to open up and we're just going to fly out. So I join in on the screaming because I'm scared for my life. My friends are crying. The boy in front of me is having this wild panic attack. Like, it's not real right now. And the reason why I was so scared was because a similar situation literally happened, I believe it was in Texas, and she went down, I think she like went down the hill and then her like seat opened up and she flew out. You can look it up. It's from Six Flags, I believe, but it was an insane incident and I just thought that that was gonna happen to us. Then I was also thinking about how literally a week before, I went to Six Flags with my family and a bolt ended up falling out of El Toro and they had to close the ride. So at this point, my head is spiraling and I'm gripping onto the seat right now. It's finally at the top and the ride goes down the first drop. When I tell y'all this ride felt faster than usual, it felt like we were going to just run off the track. At one point, the ride goes over this little lift hill and I swear swear to you, the back seats like lifted up a little bit. So we're literally getting flung on this ride, like getting whipped back and forth, and it just does not feel good. Like, that's how you knew something was off. So at this point, I'm accepting my fate. You know, if I die, if I get flung off this ride, at least I'll be riding roller coasters forever in the afterlife. Finally, the ride ends. People are crying. I lost my voice. My friends and I, we are petrified. So we got off, and we actually ended up getting a picture of us on the ride, and I wish I still had it. It's somewhere in this room. If I find it, I will show you guys, because the look on our faces, the way we were gripping the chair was insane. Like, we genuinely thought that we were gonna die. But after that, they ran the roller coaster with nobody on. They did some tests, and I'm pretty sure they closed it for the rest of the night. And y'all wanna know what's crazy? I think it was 2 years ago on El Toro, the roller coaster cart literally derailed from the track, and some people had to go to the hospital. It was this whole big thing. It's crazy.